I'm going to share with you some PowerPoint pointers. First thing when working with a PowerPoint presentation, I guess, is to think about your colour. Now, rather than doing the hard work, you should try and use either the themes that come with the system or your business, company, corporate themes that are given to you. What you might need to do if one doesn't exist is you might need to speak to your marketing department and ask them for the RGB colours. So there'll be a set of numbers that you'll then be able to put into PowerPoint into the theme colour area so that you can get the precise blue of your company colour. Another thing is, often people feel like they have to cram in a lot of information into their slides. You don't want to do that. I guess the slide should be a tool as a trigger for the person who's presenting and speaking. It shouldn't be something that people can read over your shoulder. If they're going to read over your shoulder, they're just not going to be listening to you. The focus needs to be on whatever it is that you're saying. So don't crowd your slide with too much text. They should be trigger points for you. If you're going to do your bullet points, that's fine, but you don't want to do every single slide a bullet point. You're just going to overwhelm people with the bullet points. So the best thing to do is mix it up. Get your information across in different ways, use different visuals. Sure, some bullet points, but try also converting your bullets to SmartArt text. SmartArt has a whole heap of different designs, ideas to convey your message across. It'll have the Venn diagram, it'll have a flow of processes, so you've got a box and arrow, a box and arrow, a box and arrow. It just takes out all of the guesswork for you. If you've used some of those and you go, yep, but everybody's seen a lot of those designs there, then when you create your bullets, what you could do is from the Home tab, have a look at design ideas. Now, the slide layouts that you see there are not ones that you'll see when you go to Home and New Slide. These won't be listed there. These are going to be special ones that Microsoft has put together based on what it sees in the combination of what you've put in your presentation. So if you've got a picture and a bit of text, it'll come up with different ways to construct it. Maybe instead of a white background, put in a black or darker background, or positioning your information differently. So try design ideas, they're great. Another thing is, I guess, the animation. There's no need to animate every single slide, every single presentation that you do. Keep it for something special. Unless it is something that you really need people to follow with and you're doing it in a very bullet point fashion, then what you might consider is having the bullet points come up, but so that people are focused on the value of what you have to say, you can set it up so that once you've displayed the first bullet and you've talked about it, you can either hide it, that way there's no distraction, or you can set it up so that there's a light grey colour or whatever colour you like. You can actually choose the colour that blends best with your theme. That way you can still see it for yourself. That way you know you've spoken about that point, but also people in the distance aren't going to be able to read it very easily. So that you'll find in the animation tab, and it's under the effect options. That's where you can have a look. Any of the tips that I'm giving you here, you can either go to my website, azsolutions.com.au, and if you go to my blog page on PowerPoint, you'll see a lot of this information there. Also, my YouTube channel will have some of these tips if you prefer to see, okay, let me just, walk through these things. So my YouTube channel is Analir Pisani, and you'll find some of these tips there. Sometimes you have been given a PowerPoint presentation and you're sort of just rolling with whatever they've done, but you get to a point where you're constructing something that the layouts that are given to you, none of them suit what you want. The picture's not quite in the right place, or I want 2 or 3 pictures and I need to do 3 or 4 or 5 of these slides like this. Rather than duplicating the slide, you can create your own layout. Now this you would have to do in the slide master, but you can design your own layout and put your placeholders where you would like them. If you want to add pictures, you can insert pictures and of course create the nice fuzzy backgrounds and so forth. If you're looking for something a little bit different, you might want to go to insert shapes, find a shape that you like there, maybe a rectangle with a bit of a slant, and then insert a picture into that. Rather than try and create a picture and then try and put in a rectangle or a triangle and then group it and make it white to blend in with the background and then resave it as a picture. It's exhausting just talking about it. So maybe try it from that aspect. You might often get information from your own website or other websites or from somewhere else, and you want to take a snippet of a piece of what you're looking at and then put it into your presentation. Now, the different methods that we have for doing this is the print screen. The other tool that a lot of people like to use is the snipping tool, which is all well and good. If you're working with the Microsoft Office product, it has its own built-in version of the snipping tool, which is called Screenshot. Now, Screenshot will take a snapshot of the whole screen, but you want to go a little bit further and use the screen clipping, which is the one that you're able to then take a piece of whatever little chunk you want. So maybe if there's a nice fancy button or there's a bit of a picture with a little bit of text and you want to capture that, then screen clipping, you can use that tool. And when you use that tool, unlike the snipping tool that you then have to copy and paste and so forth, when you use this tool and you find the item that you want, it automatically gets presented into the product that you're in. So whether you're, this is available across all of the Microsoft Office packages. So this is not only in PowerPoint, but you're going to find it in Word, in Word, Excel, Outlook. All of the Microsoft Office packages have Screenshot. Now, if you think, yep, okay, I've seen Screenshot, I've seen the snipping tool and various other ones, you could also use the shortcut key. This is what I've started to use instead of the Screenshot. And the shortcut key for doing that is the Windows key, the Shift key, and the letter S. Now, once you do that, you can then click and drag and select the area that you want to capture, and then position your cursor in your Word, your Excel, your PowerPoint document, and just Control V to paste. I like that one now. That's my new favorite. If you've come across working with very large PowerPoint presentations, maybe you're the person that gets given the presentation, somebody else has created most of it, but now you've been asked to, okay, I need you to update picture XXXX. I need you to go to the slide that talks about XXX and update this phrase, this area, and change it. Now, to go through a 60 slide or 60 deck PowerPoint presentation can be a real pain in the butt. So a much more efficient way of doing this is to structure your PowerPoint presentation by dividing it, by using these sections. Now, sections you're going to find under the Home tab, and you can add sections. Now, nobody else is going to see these sections except you in the back end when you're building your presentation. And you can create a section, you'd call it intro, that might be 2-3 slides. You create another section and call it, this is the area that we talk about the staff, 4, 5, 6 slides. This is the area that talks about the renovations that we're going to do, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 slides. And that way, when somebody says to you, or, okay, I need you to modify this presentation, at least they can say, go to section X, and in there, at least you're not scrolling through 60 slides to go off and find something. You're only scrolling through a shorter set to find whatever you need. So the sections is great. You can also collapse them. So if you've got 60 slides, you can then collapse it. That way you're only looking at the sections. And if you have, let's say in a particular section, you've got 10, 20 slides, and you need to say, no, hang on, I'm going to talk about resources before I start talking about the cost. Instead of selecting a whole bunch of slides, cut, paste, and so forth, and I tend to lose the plot every time I try and do it that way, you can collapse it, and then it's just a click and drag to move all of those slides around. It's been the best feature, I thought, was sections. You might find yourself stealing. You might tend to steal slides from other people. So somebody else has gone through the trouble of creating graphs or creating particular tables, and you tend to use those, revamp these tables over and over again on lots of different slides. So instead of going File, Open, look for a folder, look for a folder, look for a folder, oh, there it is, open it up, scroll through 50 million slides, find the one you're after, copy it, paste it over here. There's a feature called Reuse Slides. It's been around for a while now. And this feature you'll find under the Home tab, under New Slide, and it's right at the very, very bottom. This produces a window on the right-hand side, and from there you can go off and find your other PowerPoint presentations, open them up, and they'll display on that right-hand side there. And then you can, find the one you like and bring it across. You can also choose to bring across and keep the theme that it was at the other end, or make it blend in with yours. So again, if you Google my YouTube Analir Pisani, you'll find some YouTubes on this process. The last thing that I'll talk about is customizing slides. When you have one PowerPoint presentation, but you want to deliver this to multiple audiences, and when you deliver to these different audiences, you just take out 1 or 2 slides here and there when you present to managers, as opposed to when you present to directors, as opposed to when you present to internal staff, or to a different type of audience. So instead of duplicate the slide and then take out the bits and pieces that you want, this ends up being a nightmare. So use the custom slides, and you can, when you go to, actually I'll show you where this is. So custom slides is under slideshow, and custom slideshow will be right there, and you can create as many of these as you like. Now, when you create these, you bring across the slides that you want into the group that you called managers or so, and when you'll see them is when you go to run your presentation. So what you do is you run your presentation as per normal. Before everybody sits down and gets comfortable, you're going to right mouse click on that screen and choose your custom show, and then choose either the manager or the staff, internal, external, or whatever one you've got. And then when you get there, that will start to cycle through and show only the slides that you brought across for that group. So that was the custom slides for different audiences. This is a really nice, lovely feature. Okay, thank you for your time. Remember to subscribe if you found that interesting.